Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Conspiracy Cantina. I am Jedi Master Depaul, and this is your awesome host, xcoregamerskillz right here.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
I'm looking at the chat real fast. 1 second. Are you guys seeing everything okay? We guys good? Some thumbs up. Just make sure everything's going clear. It looks like it's good. Okay, cool. All right, great. So once again, thank you for joining us at this Conspiracy Cantina episode 6 now? Are we on
Six
the
episodes.
sixth episode?
Yep.
Man, we are moving along. For a bi-weekly podcast, we're doing pretty good, huh?
Not too bad.
So once again, we actually have a great, amazing topic that we a lot of people like about Star Wars. That's one of the most pivotal characters or positions in Star Wars that a lot of people that Star Wars is known for. So we also have some amazing guests joining us talking about covering this episode today about this amazing topic. And the topic it's going to be about is going to be the future of the Jedi. And this is going to be this is something that hasn't really been talked about that much. It's been theorized and all that stuff like that, but we're gonna go deep into it and see what we can come up with and find. And so before we do that, let me go ahead and introduce our guests, our special guests. I'm super excited to have on here. You may know them if you are on the TikTok Star Wars community, as well as follow some of their podcasts. So we're going to introduce them right now and bring them on. So some of you guys may be familiar with this, or maybe all of you guys are familiar with these two lovely people here. Some of my favorite content creators on TikTok and just people to talk with about Star Wars in general. So what I'm going to do is shut my mouth and let them introduce themselves. So we'll go ahead and start with Camilla. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where these people can find you at, and take it away.
Sounds good. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Camilla. You can find me primarily on TikTok at Boriquawookie is my username. I also have a Star Wars audio drama podcast. It's called Beings of the Galaxy. You can find that wherever podcasts are streaming, and also on Instagram, Beings of the Galaxy Pod. And what it is it is a Star Wars audio drama where each episode it's an anthology series, and each episode takes you on a journey to discover the people in the background throughout the galaxy and the roles that they play in shaping the history of the universe. And yeah, Beings of the Galaxy, check it out. Would so appreciate your support. And that's me.
Hello, what have we here? I am Chris, aka Starwarslawyer. You can find me there on TikTok and Instagram at Starwarslawyer. I also have a podcast called Too Black, Too Nerdy, where you can listen to where podcasts are available. Also, shout out to Beings of the Galaxy. Definitely go listen to that. And if you want to come hang out on my page, we would be honored if you would join us.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being on here. And let's not forget our host also, xcoregamerskillz. Go ahead and let these lovely people know where they can find you at and on all your social media platforms.
Mostly TikTok, but I am xcoregamerskillz everywhere. I finally hit 1K, so you'll be seeing a lot more of me on there. Yes, thank you. Also, school is starting soon, so that means I'm going to have a couple hours at a time every day where I'm in the house by myself, provided I'm not at work. So I'm going to be streaming a lot more on Twitch. I'm xcoregamerskillz there. I will be repicking up to start with Fallen Order, and we will be going. We'll be going from there. I have a Twitter. You can follow me. You can @ me. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. I'm old. Sorry. Anywhere. If you see my name as xcoregamerskillz, it's me. Like, nobody else has that name. So, PlayStation, Xbox, all that noise. And as for my lovely co-host.
Awesome. Yes, and this is Jedi Master Depaul. If you don't know who I am, it's okay. You will. And with that, you can find me on TikTok talking about Star Wars content, and also on here, this lovely podcast, Conspiracy Cantina, every bi-weekly. And we do great topics and talking about controversial stuff. And this is my daughter coming in here, but it's okay. So, thank you, baby. So, she brought me a Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
extra special,
so
extra special guest.
There you go.
Thank you, Princess. And so, yeah, so with that, we're going to go right into this one and dive into this topic. So the future of the Jedi. Before we do that, let me go ahead and let's thank the chat for hopping on here and supporting us and just being here, because if it wasn't for you guys, we would not be doing this, and probably would be doing this, but we wouldn't be successful with this and being here doing this for you guys to help push the channel along. So we got a lot of people in here. Dang, y'all are active in the chat today. That's what I'm talking about. Good looking. Car2D2, what's up? Hello, hello, hello. Kenny Carey, what's going on?
Kenny Carey is Darkman86 on TikTok. I just found him. He's pretty awesome.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome to the Cantina. We welcome you. Make sure you don't lose any limbs by pissing off anybody, so it's okay. Ace Bronx, we're good. What's going on, brother? Thanks for showing up as always. Xanos, okay, I probably get some glasses, I swear. Padawan Podcast, what's going on? Always showing love. Here we go. Yes, dope. Awesome. Hearth Productions, thank you. And we have a new one.
Yeah, that's Tia. That's a Star Wars Tia.
Yeah, Star Wars Tia.
No, it's not.
Yay!
Yes, it is.
Shut
Yes.
the hell up. I didn't recognize her. What's up? So yeah, we got some great people on here. Thanks for interacting in the chat. We love you guys. Tia, thank you for always coming and supporting the channel, getting through everything. Gold Phantom Game. We love you. Awesome, guys. So thanks for going in the chat. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for being here. And yeah. You can call me nephew. It's all good. Hey, auntie. All right, so let's get into it. Do you have your notes up?
I do have my notes up.
Okay, so I don't have mine.
Okay, I've got it. Okay, so to start with, who is your favorite Jedi? We can start with Chris.
Plo Koon.
That's
Plo
excellent
Koon.
choice. Excellent choice.
Man.
Anything else? Just Plo Koon, or?
I mean, he is the clone father. I mean, he's been my favorite since I saw him rocking that yellow lightsaber in Jedi Power battles in 1998.
Yes.
And then his relationship with Ahsoka. His season 1 with him and the clones, and it's just we're clones, sir. We're made to be expendable. Not to me.
Yes. And Camilla?
Okay, know about that one.
Oh man, this question is so hard because I want to say Ahsoka, but I know she's not a Jedi. But like, my heart, she is the most Jedi of all. But of official Jedi,
It could be former Jedi. It could be a Bearish Vow Jedi. It could be anybody. If you want to pick Ahsoka, you could pick Ahsoka.
great. Then Ahsoka. I was thinking about this question. It's in my brain. All roads lead to Ahsoka. So Ahsoka, definitely Ahsoka, because I think she is such an embodiment of the light side, and how like her journey is learning how to separate from the order and the hubris of the order, and then learning to do as the light says and always to follow the light and to truly be a servant of the Force. And so even though she's not an official Jedi, she's still a servant of the Force in a way that a lot of Jedi, at least in the prequel era aren't. And she reminds me a lot of the High Republic Jedi. And so it's like Ahsoka's my favorite Jedi, but if I could just also loop all of the High Republic Jedi into one big bunch, that's like second favorite because they're just built different. They're the best.
They are.
Yeah. I'm loving the High Republic right now.
So good.
Mr. Depaul, would you like to go next?
Sure, absolutely. So, favorite Jedi. I do love Yoda, but after reading a lot of the High Republic stuff, there's an amazing freaking Jedi in High Republic.
Yes.
And it's like they're not confused.
No.
they know what they like. They know what to do. It's like right and wrong. It's like, you do what's right. So it's hard because I mean I like Bell. Bell's pretty cool.
Oh boy.
I just want to give Bell a big hug.
Right?
Protect Bell Zettifar at all costs.
Man, he is officially welcome to the Julia's home for Star Wars boys just doing their best.
So Bell's pretty cool. I mean, there's so many to choose from, but from everything we know that's already established, it's either going to be Bell or Yoda. Yeah, because I was like Yoda's like snarky old man sass.
Yeah,
he, like it's in the Empire Strikes Back when he just messing with people. Like, man, because I can see myself doing that when I'm older. Seriously,
that is
my grandkids now. I still like. I was gonna give you $1,000. Now you just fucked it up. So
I always tell my wife I can't wait till I'm old enough where I can just say whatever's on my mind, and people are like, he's old, just leave him alone.
Exactly. But yeah, I actually want to say something to Chris. You said Plo Koon. Something sparked my head on that when you said that. Plo Koon and the quote that you said about him about the clones. They said we're just clones. See, not to me. You matter to me too. Plo Koon, and take this how you want to. Plo Koon is that slave master that actually cared about his slaves and didn't treat them like slaves.
No, I will not accept that. I will not accept that.
Nah, but that's a hardcore reference. But no, like he actually cared. So and it was like and some other ones thought that they were like dispense. Just like okay, well you have a job to do, and whatever happens. Some looked at him like not Ponkrell. Ponkrell's fucking but. But seriously, some of them look more like that. Some like, okay, we have a duty to do. We can get some more of you. Some actually had a soft spot for the clones. A lot. We'll say a lot of them did. But that quote right there is like, the clones knew what their job was, and we know that we're dispensable. But he made them feel like, shit. Okay. Well. I'm going to fight harder for you now. That's just a thought. But anyway, go ahead.
Also, Plo Koon's master was a Wookiee. Just saying. Shout out to Ty Vodka.
Didn't know that. Nice.
So,
love Wookiees.
Shout out to Ty Vodka.
You love Wookiees? Here, I got a Wookiee for you. Hold on.
Nice.
Yay!
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cheat because I have two. My favorite Jedi hero character of all time is Luke Skywalker. And the reason I love Luke is because even in his own movie, he's not the best looking, he's not the bravest, he's not the strongest. But no matter what, he's always trying to do the right thing. And my second answer is going to be Vernestra Rwoh from the High Republic, because just the way she interacts with the Padawans around her is perfection. Her method of teaching is do it yourself. Like she's on a mission with a Padawan. She's like, okay, what's next? And the Padawan goes, well, what do you mean? Aren't you going to tell me? She goes, well, no. If you're only ever doing what everyone tells you to do or how to do it, how are you going to know what to do when you're on your own? So that is my second favorite. But Luke is my ultimate pick because, like I said, he's not the best, but he's always doing his best.
I agree. I wish we would have got more Jedi Leia.
Yes.
Oh,
Same.
Yeah, absolutely.
I so wish we got that. But I feel that her teachings will live on in the future of the Jedi. So it's going to be good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I got my notes now. If you want me to go.
No, I still can. So this is probably the easiest question on this list. Who do you think will be Rey's first student? And we can start with Camilla.
Well, I was like, Finn. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
like, I know it's not canon, but according to the Life Day Lego Holiday Special, Finn. But I know it's not canon, but I think that's like definitely the direction where they're heading. It makes the most sense. So. So, Chris, I'm sure you think it's someone other than Finn, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's totally Broom Boy.
Broom Boy.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's Finn, and then
Yeah.
it's Jana.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen the last of Broom Boy necessarily, but yeah, it's definitely Finn. It's gotta. They should have just done it, and I don't know why they didn't. But yeah, it's definitely Finn, and I think maybe a good portion of those clones, or I'm sorry, they're not clones anymore. Of those deserter stormtroopers, because I really like Chris's theory that those are all Force sensitives that. Being consumed by the darkness of the First Order drove them to the light.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
Yeah, I really that's one of the best fan theories I've heard that I didn't come up with.
Oh well, thank you. I mean, there's at least some circumstantial evidence that Jana is Force sensitive.
Yeah, you were reading that. I'm gonna have to get that book too now.
Yeah, just handy dandy novelization.
It's funny you mentioned the novel, and I saw a video today about that. I was like, "What? She felt Jenna?" I was like, "Oh, okay." So, all right. But so many people cry and complain about like, "Well, why do we have to read stuff to find out information?" Because it's money.
But also, you've always had to do that.
Exactly, and people just bitch about it. I'm like, you guys are, oh my gosh, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like that's what it is, you know. I mean, sorry, but so yeah.
So
yeah,
we're all in agreement.
For me, it's Ben.
Yes. Yes.
If they pick anyone else, I'm like, what the hell? So
all right. So yeah, that was the easy question. Now, where do they rebuild the new Jedi Order? Do they rebuild at Octo, Tython, Lothal, or somewhere else? And either one of you guys can jump in.
So I don't see a rebuilding in the same way that it happens where we're thinking like, Luke did it on, I can't remember the name of the planet. And then, the Jedi temple was on Coruscant. I see it as more of a High Republic type thing where they have the different stations. But first, like I would say, while Rey is training Finn and possibly Jana, depending on what she wants to do, is they'll be going to different spots in the galaxy before, they start looking for other Force sensitives, just so like it'll be easier on Rey if she can train a couple people to like knight status, and then start looking for other people, and then you can have the Jedi spread off across the galaxy and be able to help people where they're at.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking the same thing. I think the fact that we have the High Republic era, and that the High Republic era has been, that we've been told that it is the Jedi at their prime. I think, at least for me, whenever I look at the rest of the Jedi throughout after the High Republic, it's through the lens of so if the High Republic is the gold standard, then are whatever happens in the future, how can we get back to what worked in the High Republic? And of course, it's the Jedi Order existed before the High Republic era, so it's a different kind of rebuilding. But like you were saying, Chris, it doesn't feel like they stay in one place unless it's we need to train Finn, we need to get Finn to a status, get Jaina to a status, or whoever, and then go out through the galaxy. Like perhaps they need a home base, but when the Jedi Temple was on Coruscant, it contributed to their fall because they were so. It was like we can see the Senate building from the Jedi Temple and vice versa, and obviously we know how that all ended. So even though the Jedi Temple on Coruscant wasn't during the High Republic era, wasn't as intertwined with politics, it was always on that path because it was in that physical location. And so so I think it's thinking, using the High Republic as a model, going to the people versus concealing themselves to a place. Like, I definitely don't think it's Octu, because that's like, for Rey, that's where Luke went to get away and away from the world, and I don't think she would. She saw what that did to him, and I don't think she would do that to her order. I mean, of these three places, I guess like Lothal would make the most sense if she wanted to be around people. But yeah, I think it's going to the people versus concealing themselves to a place and hiding out from the world.
Also, I don't think the caretakers on Octo want Rey back.
Definitely not. Absolutely not.
Valid.
Very valid.
I was thinking that they definitely need like a place to be, though, because a big part of not being a Jedi, but being a Jedi is focusing on yourself. I've said this before. You don't need training to use Force abilities. The Jedi don't train specifically to do Force push or Force leap or any of those things. And we're seeing, and that's one of the things I love about High Republic, is we're seeing that more and more. I bring up Zell when I talk about Bell Zettifar when I talk about this, because the last thing that Loden wanted him to learn was how to stop himself from falling. But he never said you have to do this, that. He never gave him a list of things to do. It's the Force will tell you, and you'll do it. And so, he told him to jump off a cliff and walked away. But he made sure there was someone there. But what he wanted Bell to do was to trust in himself and believe that he could do it. And then at the end of that whole fiasco, he does. And he saves himself and the little girl. And I think that having a spot that's connected to the Force where you can be by yourself is almost fundamental to understanding your place yourself in the Force. Because that's the Jedi train to become better people. They train to deepen their connection with the Force, and they train to control themselves. And it's only through that can they go and exercise what it means to be a Jedi with the public in general. If you can't master your emotions when you're alone through meditation, how can you master them when someone's shooting a blaster at you, or when you have to save a skiff that's falling out of the sky and things like that? So I agree that they're not going to stay in one place, but I think that they need at least one or two places to have that connection with the Force and with the other members of the Jedi Order. And for me, I really want to say it's Tython, especially at first when they're trying to rebuild, because they literally have the homing beacon that's sitting right there.
Mhm.
That's just my thoughts on the Jedi Order in general and how they sort of operate. Ryan?
So rebuilding. Okay, where will they rebuild? See, I don't want to say some of that they're already been a temple, just for the fact that I think that Ray is going to be the Grand Master, or going to be the Jedi Master who's rebuilding it, and I think she's going. Ray's. I feel that she's more by the book. She's more of a. I don't want to mess up, so I'm going to read everything and be by the book of what I see in the books, but not do it that same way. And I think the Force Ghosts are going to have a lot to come to play with this one and guide her more. And Luke's going to pop her side of her head a couple times. Yoda's going to pop in there and be like, "Hey, do it your way. We don't want you to do it our way because we effed up our way. Do it your way." And it's going to be her final test, or I'm going to say test, but her growing pains to learn to trust in herself more. So with that said, it's going to be probably a whole different planet, and we might even get that planet from the Ahsoka show. And just for like with Ahsoka going around trying to find Ezra and throwing all that stuff, that is because they're going to be more in the Outer Rim and exploring other. I think they're going to explore more territory, and it's going to come up against up on new temples and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, so I'm not going to say it's going to be somewhere that we are familiar with. I think it's going to be a new discovery of something out there that the Force is either going to draw everybody to it, or it's going to draw her to it, and she's going to find out like that.
Yeah, and Ryan brings up a great point, because we have Ahsoka. We never know if she's going to not start an order per se, but even just train a few people that are in her arm's reach, or Cal Kestis, because he's still alive. And there were other Jedi survivors, so we don't know whether there will be multiple orders and how they will interact with each other.
The thing about Ahsoka though is she doesn't seem like that's her deal. At least not that we've seen in 9 ABY. But you never know. She's definitely looking for Ezra. And that's why Tython is appealing to me, because it's a place where like they can use the homing beacon, like, hey, we're out here. Who else is out there?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I think about Rey is, while she's trying to do her own thing, she also understands the past in a way that Luke didn't. And whereas Luke only saw the failures, Rey saw the failures, but also saw how they came to meet them. And I think she understands that you can't learn from the past if you don't study it. That's something that Luke never understood. For all of the things that he did, he never understood that you can learn from the past without repeating it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take on that one.
No, that's a good take. I mean,
The man is hard-headed, just like his daddy.
Yeah, very hard-headed. Perhaps even more.
He's more stubborn.
Yeah, this conversation is really making me think deeply about what it truly means for Rey. To put yourself. I don't think enough people put themselves in Rey's shoes at the end of Rise of Skywalker, and like really what it means to rebuild the Jedi Order. Like, that is such a massive task, and I can't imagine what she's feeling. I'm sure she's probably feeling nervous. I'm sure she's trying not to be fearful. I'm sure she wants to do the legacy proud. She wants to do Luke and Leia proud, taking on the Skywalker mantle. It's just, oh my gosh. I I don't have anything other to say that I'm just thinking about this now in a way that I've never like really truly processed. But it also makes me think that the way I think a lot of times, at least how I view the Force specifically is I feel like in Star Wars, a lot of times everything happens for a reason, and you always see the Force working in mysterious ways throughout Star Wars. And I just can't help but think that there's a reason why it's Rey who is the one who is carrying on the Skywalker legacy, but then also the one who's going to rebuild the Jedi Order. And that just makes me appreciate her character even more and the power that she has, and that the Force has brought her to the place where, yeah, this is her burden to bear. And I don't know what it's going to look like because, yeah, we don't have a ton of information about what's to come, but it does make me appreciate and love Rey even more.
Yeah. Her taking on the mantle has a lot of significance. That was one of those things where everyone complained, and I'm like, no, don't you see? Like, this is the mantle of hope in the galaxy. That it was the mantle that carried them through the Clone Wars. Like, everyone knew who Anakin Skywalker was. Mm-hmm. And then when Luke defeated the Empire, before Luke defeated the Empire, everyone knew that the name Skywalker was the guy who blew up the Death Star. Anybody who was anybody. So for her to willingly take on that mantle she knows the significance of it. And we will get into that in a little bit, but it's one of those things that, like, she's not doing any of this lightly at all. And you gotta give her props for even attempting it. I mean, and just in real life, look at how the fans reacted when she took on the mantle. I mean, that's
a good point. Who knows how, like, the actual people in the galaxy would react to Rey taking on that name? And
I mean, it probably would go over somewhat similarly, because at like right before The Force Awakens is when people found out that Leia was Vader's daughter, and that just tanked her.
So, yes.
I mean, even like this is literally, a couple years later after those events. So she's taking on that name. Like, we saw that Luke's name still inspired people at the end of The Last Jedi, and Leia was the one that inspired people in The Rise of Skywalker. So maybe they'll receive it better. I still don't understand why people are mad about it in the real world. Like, that when that happened in the movie, besides some other distractions that were going on inside the theater itself, I was just like, huh, neat. Because I thought it was just going to be like The Rise of Skywalker that's what the name of her order was going to be, and we were going to go from there. And I was like, all right, cool. And then she was like, Rey Skywalker. I was like, neat, good for you.
Yeah, I was saying before it came out, I was like, she's obviously going to be the Skywalker. I'm like, unless she dies and it's Ben, but I don't see that happening. I was talking with a buddy of mine before it came out. I'm like, it's called Rise of the Skywalker. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
In the theater I was in, it was a very mixed reaction between like a hushed wow and clapping. So I didn't understand the hate it got when I got out.
Yeah, I don't remember my theater's reaction. There was some stuff going on around me, so I wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah, no, I see that video that goes around TikTok, like theater's reaction on when she said her Rey Skywalker. I'm like, my theater didn't do that. My theater was like, oh, okay. Like, they clapped and we left. That was pretty much it.
I remember Chaco was saying like his theater, like the whole theater cheered. My theater was a very mixed reaction. It was very like there was a lot of the reaction I had. I was like, like I knew it was coming, and then there was a lot of people who were happy about it.
Yeah. I don't remember my theater. The only reaction I remember, because it was my biggest reaction, was when I thought Chewbacca died. And everybody lost it.
Everybody in the theater was
Bro,
like, no.
I stood up when
It was
that ship blew up. I was like, my wife said, sit down. I was like, nah, fuck that. They killed Han and Chewie.
it was a collective gasp in the theater. And then honestly, it made me mad when he showed up like 3 minutes later. I was just like, you're not gonna do this to me again. All right. You're not gonna do this to me again.
I'm ready to fight. I was like, if anyone lived, it had to be Chewie and the droids. Like come on, man.
Because it would have been like, all right, imagine, Lando gets to Ajan Kloss, Chewie's gone, Leia's gone. It's just Lando now.
Man, that's just depressing.
At least Lando got to say goodbye to Chewie.
Yeah. Before we move forward, I want to just go ahead and hit some of the stuff in the chat. I forgot to go ahead over this, but they were talking about some of the questions and the bullet points. Some of the Jedi in the prequels, but we know nothing about nearly all of them. I wish in Clone Wars they explored more. Hey, Dave, they don't waste no characters, so be careful what you ask for.
There's always the books. There's always the books. They're constantly coming out with books.
True. Kanan, yeah, we all love Kanan. Star Killer. Kanan and Mace Windu, awesome. Darth Chaco had a good video about Mace Windu. I was like, damn, Mace Windu was not. He was just so militant, but he was like, just like surgical with the way he did. I'm like, okay, that's what's up. The Ahsoka will help change Jedi with Luke in the Ahsoka show. You know what? We'll see. I think the whole Luke and Ahsoka, I don't think Ahsoka want nothing to do with the Jedi anymore. She's like, whatever. You can call me a Jedi. I mean, I'll use, I have techniques like that. I train, but I think Ahsoka's like, whatever.
But she's wearing her beads again.
Is she?
Mm-hmm. She's wearing her beads again.
I didn't notice that. Okay.
So she's come around to it. Especially after her confrontation with Vader. I think that's what changed her mind. Because she realizes that walking the path alone is incredibly difficult. And also that while the Order was flawed, its teachings aren't necessarily so.
Good point.
What I find...
go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, what I find interesting about Ahsoka is that we haven't really seen her exist outside of wartime. It's like her formative years are the Clone Wars and then Empire times, and she's fighting back against the Empire in her own way pretty much from the start. After she starts getting her footing, she joins she becomes Fulcrum pretty soon after Order 66, I think like a year and a half or something after, maybe 2 years. And in The Mandalorian, this is the first time we see her existing out of active, in a time that's not actively in wartime. I mean, there's obviously things going on. The galaxy's a dangerous place all the time. And she's still liberating people and still fighting for good. But yeah, it's what does a non-wartime Ahsoka path look like? And does it take her back to the Jedi because Luke needs help rebuilding it? Maybe he contacts her. I don't know. It's all theories for sure. But the most interesting thing for me is, yeah, what does an Ahsoka in a quote unquote peacetime look like? And I'm excited to see that in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, that's going to be real good. I'm super excited. That and Acolytes is my most anticipated show. Yeah. Like, you people like, oh, Kenobi. Like, I don't give a fuck about Kenobi. We already know about Kenobi. It's like, I like Kenobi, but like, hey, now I want to know Ahsoka and Acolytes. Those are my things. Like, I want new stuff.
It also makes me wonder, okay, what has Ahsoka been doing in the 26 years between the sequel trilogy and The Mandalorian? Because, she wouldn't have just been chilling while the First Order was doing its business. So obviously, I mean, I believe that she's alive during that time. So something has to be occupying her time. And Togrutas can live about as long as humans, or they can live a lot longer if they're like attuned to the Force. I don't know if those rules still exist, but they used to. So you know, she could live and not even be in middle age by the time the sequel trilogy is rolling around. So, you know, if something's keeping her occupied, I want to know what it is.
So shout out to High Republic, but she reminds me of a Seeker. Or a way seeker, I should say. Like that, like it's like Camilla said, we haven't seen her exist outside of wartime, and it was like a year before she joined the rebellion, and it's because it's what the Force was compelling her to do. She almost didn't have a choice. She tried living outside of that. She tried not having an active role, and we see how well. Have you guys read her novel yet?
Yeah.
Chris?
Yep.
So she's trying to just make it as a mechanic, and you know the Empire shows up, and she's like, I gotta get out of here. And she tries living as a farmer or a mechanic for the farming moon, and the Empire shows up, and she has this realization that it doesn't matter what she wants. She wants to take the Barish vow. She wants to live a peaceful life by herself. But the Force is telling her that she has to help. And so I think that is sort of why she's found her way back to understanding that the Order is no more, but its teachings are solid. And I'm not going to say she trains a Padawan, but I see her as a way seeker, just going where the Force tells her. And I think we'll obviously in the Ahsoka show we'll see what's going on. So I would definitely love to see her meet the twins, but that's some fan service I don't know that we'll get, especially with meeting Leia, because as far as I know, Carrie Fisher's estate doesn't. They said you can do Rogue One, you can do what you have to for Rise of Skywalker, but that's it. So yeah, I would love to see her meet Luke. And if you guys are on TikTok, she doesn't follow me back, but I follow Gingers or Plants, and she does great sketches about that.
Yeah.
Although if you give it a few years, Millie Bobby Brown could be a young Princess Leia. They do favor a lot.
Yeah. And Millie Bobby Brown is awesome. So.
Yeah, they never said they wouldn't recast Leia. They just said they won't use Leia's likeness anymore.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
So no, yeah, I mean that's that's some deep stuff right there. Okay. Let's finish up. Yeah, a lot of chats in here. Jesus. But Export Gamer Skill, great point about Tython. If they rebuild on Tython, seeing the stones acting as a rallying. Okay. First virus who are still staying away per Kenobi's first message. Okay, nice. Element was with the good reflection of things deep into Star Wars. I believe that they are planning on starting. Okay, I think you're talking about the Kenobi show and the Acolytes.
The Kenobi show is filming
great. What's up?
They've wrapped Kenobi.
They wrapped Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, they wrapped it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing post, so it should be out soon. I'm excited. I don't care. It's. You could tell me that the next lead character in a Star Wars film is a literal dog, and I will be excited to watch it. Like I love Star Wars.
I guarantee a trailer at a minimum, possibly an episode at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that too. Raising Yoda's anything with Yoda, man. And something about Yoda that really it's starting to bother me is that how they like, oh yeah, Yoda's in the High Republic. He ain't in the damn High Republic. His name is in the High Republic. I'm like, man, it's not talking about Yoda. You don't use his as a go buy it because you want to watch Yoda.
He's in the comics.
You know what? I actually got a stack of comics over there. I haven't even started reading yet. So I was wanting to collect all of them before I start reading them because I didn't want to like have to stop and stop and stop. So,
I'm gonna start getting them. I'm gonna get them when the trades start coming out.
yeah.
But that's after I'm not buying more than one book a month.
All right. You want to? What's the next one?
Do either Rey or Finn become seekers? That is Jedi that specifically are looking for Force-sensitive children.
I think they're actually guess first. Sorry, guess first.
You got it, Chris. You go first. I'll go after you.
I would say for Finn, no, just because that may bring up some raw emotions considering how he was kidnapped. Now, granted, they wouldn't be kidnapping people, and Jedi don't kidnap kids. I don't know where that's coming from, but that just Jedi don't kidnap kids anyway. So I would say Finn would probably have the approach if he you come to me, or if I am going around and I help one and someone's just like, hey, I can do that too, help me out, then Finn would more likely bring them along. And I feel like Rey might take a similar approach. Maybe do things like using the seeing stones to call out to people, and then people can come to her. Or, those batch of stormtroopers, they might come to Rey as, Lando and Janna go across the galaxy and reunite people with their families.
Yeah, it's like from a logistics standpoint, can she train and also be a seeker? Like logistically speaking, that feels like really hard and feels like a lot. So yeah, like you were saying, Chris, using the seeing stones as a beacon to bring people to her definitely feels like it makes the most sense. I don't know. I think just like thinking about what their purpose is in rebuilding the Jedi Order and what that looks like. One of my favorite quotes from Light of the Jedi is I'm 90% sure it's Jorah Malley who says that she asks the question, is the action I'm about to take going to bring more light to the galaxy? And I love that quote because I think, one, it's just a picture of how the High Republic Jedi are so in tune with the light side of the Force and making sure that decisions they make are always, what's bringing more light to the galaxy. And so it would be interesting to see Rey and Finn asking those kinds of questions and to see I think there's something interesting to look at the difference between, are they going to do what they think they're supposed to do, or are they going to do what the Force leads them to do? And if doing what you think is what you're supposed to do, we've seen that and we've seen where it leads. So I'd be really excited to see both of them doing what the Force wills them to do and what the Force guides them to do. And, if the Force is guiding both of them to become seekers, then they should become seekers. If the Force is like, Force is guiding them to stay in one place and neither of them become seekers, then stay in one place and don't become seekers. I think if the Force is guiding you to do something and it's scary, like what you were saying, Chris, I think that's such an interesting point with Finn. But if the Force is guiding him to becoming a seeker, then turning away from that because of his things he's fearful of and his past and what he went through, then it's ignoring the Force because of fear and anxiety, and we've seen where that leads. So I think if they become seekers, I hope they both become seekers because that's the will of the Force, rather than it's what they think they're supposed to do, or what Rey thinks we're supposed to do in terms of rebuilding the Jedi Order.
See, I'm on the same page with you, Camilla. Just for because there's only two who's trying to build. Well, we're assuming there's only two at this point, because hey, what if Finn just gets a hair up his ass and I don't want to be a Jedi. Because like I'm cool. I want to go help people and do what I want to do, and that's it. But I highly doubt that. But yeah, I mean, they may just see that whatever the Force wants us to do, we have to go follow the will of the Force because that's how it got out of balance by not following the will of the Force and trying to bend it their way or do other things. And so it might be, like, hey, we have to station here, do like Grogu did on the stone, do a Super Saiyan charge up and send a Force beacon out. Like boom, there we go. And whoever has Force and stuff, come see us, and we'll talk. And or be a seeker. So no, I agree with you 100% on that one. As and Chris, you made a good point with Finn about him going and with having some unresolved stuff about the whole being taken away as a kid, as a slave, and or a baby. I think he will have to deal with that first, resolve that first before moving forward as a Jedi. That will be one of his Padawan lessons before he can even become a knight. So I don't think it will be that much of an issue once he does that, or if he can do that. But no, I that's a good point you made, because if he doesn't resolve that, he's going to have a big issue, and it can be a trigger to send him off to the dark side.
You know how I would write that for Finn is he goes back to Canto Bight and he frees those kids.
Mm-hmm.
So where he is able to be a liberator. And then, then he finds Tamiri Bragg, aka Broom Boy, and it's just like Tamiri's like, come with me, and then he like throws a broom at Finn and he's like, oh, okay. And Tamiri is Finn's first apprentice.
Oh, that's so beautiful, because that's Finn is doing something as a Jedi that the Jedi never did in the prequel, in the Galactic Republic era, and I'm assuming throughout just a lot of eras previous to that, because obviously how can the Jedi exist? If the Jedi exist, why is there still slavery? And so I think that would be super powerful to see Finn doing something as a Jedi that the Jedi Order, as one person he does, but the Order itself never did.
Yeah, you've read my prompt, Camilla.
Yeah, I was going to say more or less the same thing that Chris did, or posed the question at least. Is I think they go back for Broom Boy. He's got to have an understanding of what was going on there, at least subconsciously. And I definitely think that if Finn's going to do anything, it's going to be to sort of address the military industrial complex as it exists in the Star Wars universe, because what happened to him happened because of that. And so I think that's a great place to start for Finn's story, because without these people exploiting war for profit, he wouldn't have been in that position in the first place. So whether he addresses that through direct action or well, there is no Senate anymore because Hosnian Prime is gone. So that's a whole other kettle of fish, because we're for the first time in a place in Star Wars where there is no government. We've never seen that before, and that's also really interesting, because even the High Republic, the Republic is there, and the Old Republic, the Republic is there. You have the Empire, which came out of the Republic. You had the New Republic. Now, who is there? Where's the
New Republic?
Right. Where's the leadership? I mean, Hosnian's gone. I'm sure you have senators who are off world at the time, but that's another very interesting thing that I didn't even think of until right now is how do you rebuild the Jedi Order when all there is in the galaxy is a power vacuum? I mean, we can
Stay out
come
of
back to that later, but I just blew my own mind. Like I didn't even think of that when writing this up because there was always some sort of stability before for the Jedi to do what they were doing.
I think that gives them, the Jedi, an opportunity to rebuild an order free of that attachment to a governmental structure, because we saw where that led. It's always been the Republic and the Jedi. And then if you're not with the Republic, we've seen how, like, Obi-Wan wasn't able to go to Mandalore with Jedi support to help Satine because Mandalore's a neutral system. And so you see that throughout the prequel era, the inability for the Jedi to act of their free accord because they had to take in their connection with the Republic. And so it's like it's separation of church and state, but state doesn't exist. So therefore, the religious organization, as I know, the Jedi are often equated to. But yeah, if that government doesn't exist, then they can truly operate of their own accord, and that would be interesting to see.
It actually would, and I think they'll have more of that monk stance of like, okay, well, we're just like not even like the religion, and this time, because before it was more of people looked at it as a religion. People looked at it as like, this is your faith, and you have to follow. Like it was black and white, and it was so. You can't have emotions. You can't have feelings. They confuse attachments and emotions, and it's like no. You can have emotions. Learn how to deal with them. We have emotions. If you ignore your emotions, it's going to bottle up. And that's what I love about the High Republic is teaching that. It shows you that no, we don't want you to ignore your emotions. You're going to freaking get depressed and get suicidal or something like that, or even worse. What it was is that this will be more of a, okay, great, deal with it and just move on. Don't get upset because somebody doesn't agree with you. All right, no problem. That's cool. You ain't gotta like it. I'll keep on moving. And I think that I think that would be a better way. Of course, you're gonna have somebody who's gonna try to manipulate the system and try to turn them against it. Oh well, hey, come help me do this, and put them in a bad situation because they think they're doing something right. But I can already see that as being one of their stories or something like that. Starting a whole revolution or a war because Ray or Finn end up helping somebody who they thought they were captive of a slave, and actually they were kind of like the Dregar. They unleashed a dark plague of darkness over the land on accident. So I don't know, but you're on point with the whole being able to do what they need to do without government in place.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Qui-Gon quote from Master and Apprentice, where it was like, "What use are our ideals if we cannot fit them to the universe as we find it? If our beliefs tell us one thing and the needs of real people tell us another, can there be any question of which we should listen to?" And with the Republic being there and the Jedi being so heavily tied, they were not able to really listen to the needs of real people because they were listening to the needs of the Republic, or at least the wants of the Republic.
Yeah.
Also, Mon Mothma's alive and kicking at the end of the sequel trilogy. She could step in as an advisory role.
I did not realize that. So yeah, there's your leader right there.
She was retired, so I don't know if she's going to come out of retirement. But
she's also probably older, right?
Yeah, she's I think like maybe 25, 30 years older than Leia. So
she needs
that
a
puts
nap.
her in her 80s. That puts her in her 80s.
Yeah. But I mean, who better to help at least? Because I mean, there's no Bail, there's no Leia. You got Mon Mothma. You got all the. Yeah. Well, I mean, in Poe, I think Poe is definitely going to be a big step forward in that. And I think a big thing that they're going to have to do. Well, actually, I don't know, Because are there still remnants of the First Order left?
Yeah, probably.
So I think that's Poe's first mission, if I'm not mistaken.
That's an easy first story to get you out of the gate post Rise of Skywalker, is dealing with the remnants of the First Order.
And the ideology of the First Order and the Empire and all of these states will always exist. And I think that's because it's like that I think is what's interesting. Is I know the conversation is who's the villain going to be in beyond, like we've seen the Empire, we've seen the First Order. What is the villain in the future look like? And I think it's
the Chiss.
I mean,
the blue people.
I mean, like, yeah, who knows? Maybe, right? That's obviously something we don't have a ton of information on. We're starting to get it with the Thrawn, the Chiss Ascendancy trilogy. But yeah, the ideology of the First Order will always exist because there are always people who will believe in the First Order. There are always people who will believe in the Empire. I mean, you saw it in the New Republic with the centrists, who were definitely more empire-minded than the populace. And yeah, the ideology will always exist. It's who's going to weaponize that kind of an ideology, and I don't know what it'll look like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome conversation. So the next question is Skywalker the new name for the Jedi Order? Do they all change their last name to Skywalker? Or is Skywalker a title given to Jedi who show exemplary service to the Order or the galaxy at large?
See, that's layers right there.
Yeah.
That's layers, because there's a lot of variables to that one. There's like, does the universe at this point know that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll let you guys go. I already got my answer, man.
So like I said, I thought the ending was going to be that they were going to be the Skywalkers. That was what the New Order was going to be called. I think it can be a name for people that sort of like take on that mantle, but also sort of need it. Because Rey, I mean, she was, people say Rey Palpatine, but she never went by that name. No one ever called her Rey Palpatine. You know, the closest you get is Sheev calling her Empress Palpatine. But, you know, if her dad never went by that name, which I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have, and her mom, I'm sure, didn't go by that name either, then yeah, she's not Rey Palpatine. So, you know, so it works as a mantle and as a last name for her. Someone who also could use that is Finn, because my man has a first name and no last name. Names are important in Star Wars.
He never had a name.
Well, he had a name, and then he
got a number. We don't know what his name ever was. Is the thing. Like, he doesn't know what it was.
His name is John Boyega. That's his canon name. That's his canon name.
Finn Boyega. There you go.
Yes. I think that's an interesting story to tell. Before he does his Jedi training, does he find his name? Does he know? Does he figure out who he was or could have been?
I have a story about that in my head.
Someone call Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, hire me.
Answers. We need them. I personally think there's beauty in difference and in separate, distinct, and in identities. And I don't think that there's like, I think if anybody wants to take on that name, then by all means, like, you have the power to take on whatever name you want. You have the power to change your own name, reclaim whatever name you want. But I think as if it was to be a requirement where if you were a Jedi, like, rather than Jedi Master, like Skywalker Master, I feel like, I don't know. I think think that if everybody were to take on the name Skywalker, it would erase part of an existing identity that keeps a lot of these people who come from different places connected to their homeworlds. Like you see with Luminara and with Barriss, there's still a connection and still a celebration of their homeworld with the clothing that they wear and the fact that Luminara only takes on Miriel and Padawan, and then you have Shakti and Ahsoka wearing the I forget the name of the whatever, but the teeth on their montrals. And so yeah, I think something I think about is with Padme and how her handmaidens each took on the name. They left their names behind and changed their names to as a way of the fact that they were serving Padme, and so that in erasing that identity, they did it to because they were in service of her. And so I think if that was applied with the Jedi, it's okay. So if we all took on the name Skywalker, are we doing that in service of the Skywalker family and the Skywalker legacy, which though is also his hope, there's also flaws and failure intertwined with it. And then is by doing that, are you putting the name above the Force and above the light side? And so that's why I lean towards not taking that on, because it's like Rey took it on for a very specific reason, because of honoring her masters who taught her. But to take it on simply because it's, we're deifying this name and this is the ultimate name of Jedi in the galaxy, I think that can also be a slippery slope.
Great answer. Do you have a thought, Ryan, before I...
Man, it's so much to it. I mean, I was going to say, because if the universe knows that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader, they have a whole bunch of hate for him, and they've already shamed and stripped Leia because of that. Because that's your dad, so we have to. But what's crazy is that I don't believe. Did they do that same thing to Luke? They stripped him and they ridicule him. They didn't, because he was Luke Skywalker, but he had the same damn name. So I don't. That's just messed up.
It's the difference between politics and
religion,
and also, she took the name Organa and had it forever. So it's like, she's like. I didn't read it yet, but it's like you can construe that. She's hiding who she really is.
Yeah.
So what are her
you don't
motives? Yeah.
So I mean, and it's interesting, just with because I was like, they're gonna, shun Rey, but at the same time, I would say why would she take the name Skywalker? But she just did a big thing. She just saved the universe. Now she did not, and she overthrew the Emperor again. When everybody, Palpatine is back alive. How the is he back alive? But okay, now we have to fight him again. So she took the name Skywalker. But now I had to mix it. Like, well, hell, somebody's going to do the same thing they did to Leia. Like, you're a Palpatine. And like blah blah blah. So how are you taking the name Skywalker? Like, but I trained under the Skywalkers. Yeah, but you're a Palpatine. Your grandfather tried to enslave the whole universe or galaxy. So they can do the same thing to her, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe the name Skywalker may not be bad, or the title being a title may not be bad, because it's Skywalker has saved the galaxy twice now, compared to just Vader being a tyrant and the overlord.
Who saved the galaxy, by the way.
He did save the galaxy.
He saved the galaxy, destroyed it, saved it again.
Yep.
So,
And it's just like some people will forgive, some people won't. Some people yeah, I can't forgive what a Skywalker did to me, or I can. And well, okay, it is what it is. So it's hard to say, but I think with that whole explanation and everything like there, I think it's possible that they'll use it as a mantle. More likely they'll use it as a mantle, or the Skywalker Order, something like that, instead of the Jedi. Because I mean, I think I've said this before, but the Jedi has a lot of propaganda. There isn't a lot of there never was a lot of Jedi after the fall of the Jedi in the prequels. So the Jedi was Luke Skywalker and maybe some stragglers there, here and there, that Vader was hunting along with the Inquisitors, and or some maybe people that had just been hiding and they just became force sensitive. I'm not a Jedi, I'm hiding. So with that said, it's I would say that yeah, I can see them changing and using it as a mantle and more of a title, or the order itself, the Skywalker Order or the Skywalker Academy, something like that.
Yeah, I personally like the last one, which is why I put it in there. So, because the Jedi, it comes down to how I see Rey's character, and feel free to disagree with me, but Rey wants to honor the past while learning from it at the same time. So, I think that having the title of Skywalker be something that you give to someone who's done something above and beyond for the Skywalker Order, just means something different. Instead of calling them a Grandmaster, because what is a Grandmaster? It's like, okay, you're a master, but you're a master. It means that also anyone can earn it. So you become, Jedi Knight or Jedi Master, whoever, Skywalker of the Order. It has that ring to it. Like, it sets you apart. Like, if you're a Skywalker of the Jedi Order, you did something important. You did something where not just the Council, but the galaxy at large recognizes that you've done something that means something to a lot of people. Because I like what Camilla said about not changing their names to Skywalker, because there's beauty in difference. Like you said it, I can't say it any better than Camilla already said it. I just wanted to say I completely agree. But that's my little ad there. I think it's a title, instead of Grandmaster or anything like that. It's you went above and beyond. You're a Skywalker of the Jedi Order.
Yeah. Right on, Camilla. Right on, girl. All right. Oh, cool. Anyone else has anything to touch on that one with? No. All right. So, while my diet takes a big gulp of that tasty beverage of his, we're going to say, does Grogu grow up and join the New Order?
I'm like, I think the thing with Grogu is that Ahsoka was very clear in The Mandalorian that Grogu is dealing with attachment, fear, and anger. And I don't feel like that's just a one-off. That feels very purposeful. And so, and then I wonder, is Luke equipped to train someone dealing with those kinds of things? And so, yeah, it's just, again, it's all speculation, but I don't know what Grogu's future in the Jedi Order would look like because of what he's dealing with. And does he have a master that's able to help him work through that? Because it felt like the person who would be more equipped is Ahsoka, and she was like, no, I'm not going to send him down this path. and Luke talks about in The Last Jedi that in his hubris, he thought he could rebuild the Jedi Order. And so if we see him also dealing with that and thinking, oh yeah, I can easily like train the fear and anger and attachment out of this kid. But yeah, I'm like, is Luke's only failure Ben? Or are there others who went before Ben that he taught that he wasn't able to? Like, was Ben the only one, or was Ben the straw that broke the donkey's back? And it's a big straw for sure, because that's a big one. But yeah, I don't know. I think that Grogu's dealing with a lot, and I don't know if Luke is equipped or if he's too prideful to deal with it.
I think with Grogu, when Luke trains him, he trains him more how to control his powers versus to train him to be a Jedi. And then Grogu will eventually go back and be with Din. And because Grogu is, a part of Yoda's species and he can live for several centuries, I can see one of two things happening. One, Yaddle finds him, because we no longer have a death for Yaddle in canon. And yeah, we don't. She died in Legends.
How old is she though?
500-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
there's a lot. There's a lot there.
Yeah, unless they can't kill her in the High Republic because she shows up in Phantom Menace, so she's safe. So yeah, Yaddle could come find him afterwards, or by that point where Din would be dead, let's say, in like 40 or 50 ABY, then Grogu's at an age where he will be more than just a child. Because Yoda, I'm not sure if this is still canon or if it's just one of those things that people assume given the information that we have. Yoda was at least training Jedi around 100 years old. So that means he was somewhere between Knight and Master.
Well, doesn't he say somewhere, and I can't remember where it is, that he was training Jedi? I think it's actual canon. I just don't have the source, that he did say he was training Jedi for 800 years.
Yeah, that's the canon thing. So around 100 years old, he was either a knight or a master, or maybe he was just referring to himself as a master then. So that means that Grogu could be at an age where he could at least be a knight by the time that Din would be, dead. So he could link up with Rey, he could go to Ahsoka, he could find Yaddle. I don't know necessarily whether I would want him to be a Jedi versus just maybe like a wise Force user. Who knows? Maybe Grogu rules Mandalore for 700 years.
It's entirely possible. Ryan?
Did Camilla go?
Did you go? I'm sorry, did you?
Yeah, I talked about the fear, anger,
yes.
Okay, you actually cool. Thank you. So I'm like, I was so like into Chris's. You actually gave me a good point. Now hear me out, okay? About Grogu. It's just a theory. That's why this is called the Conspiracy Cantina. So just hear me out. R2-D2 helps Grogu gets over his fear and attachments, because R2 has those same fear and attachments. I don't know how Droid has fear, but those attachment issues and abandonment issues from Anakin. That's why he never leaves Luke after Luke says stay on the thing all the time. He comes with him all the time. Even when he came into get Grogu, nah, I'm right here. What's up? And he saw Grogu. He was like, hey, what's up, pimp? What's going on? I remember you. And with those fears and attachments, Luke's training him, and he's having a hard time training Grogu because of those fear and the attachments that Grogu has that Ahsoka saw. And by him resonating with R2 and bonding with R2, he's able to let that go. because eventually R2 had to let that go. That's why Luke was like, "You gotta stay over here, be cool," and you're with Leia. Chill with Leia. Go in sleep mode. Chill with Leia. I'm gone. I gotta go. So that's the theory. But Grogu as a Jedi, I think he does his training, but and Luke probably gets frustrated with him. You know, Luke maybe even felt intimidated. I mean, a little bit. It's like, oh, this is like little Yoda. Like my master. One of my masters was the Grand Master. Here's all the books, all the Jedi texts. Hey, hold on. Matter of fact, let me call him up real fast as the Force goes, so you can see him and do all that. But I mean, I think Grogu doesn't really stay as a Jedi. I don't think they're not gonna kill Grogu off. You'll piss a lot of people off. A lot of people off. You kill Grogu. He's a cash cow. They already know that, and they know. They're like, no, we ain't killing him off. Like, we kill him off, woo! They will be riding Disneyland. But I feel that he got away before the whole burning of destruction of the Jedi Academy, and also Ben didn't burn down the Jedi Academy. You guys know that, right? Ben, that was Snoke.
Yeah, I like that a bit less.
And a lot of people always saying, "Oh well, yeah, Ben he destroyed. He took credit for it." But no, Snoke did that. He do a Force storm.
I don't even know if he took credit for it. I think he just kind of like people just assigned it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, okay." Just like, why not? Everybody hates me anyway.
But so with that, it's just like, yeah, Grogu. I don't think he becomes a Jedi. I think he's gonna go down the path like Ahsoka, and probably link up later on with Ahsoka. Like, yeah, I'm cool now. I'm not pissed off, and I'm not attached to stuff. And let's chill. Let's hang out, and teach me some of the stuff, because I know you're going through some shit too. So then that's how I just see that playing out. Or either he goes back and see Din, and he has to bury Din somehow, because Din's human, or human species, and then that happens. But yeah, I mean, there's many ways of going, but I don't see him being a Jedi, or like actual I'm a Jedi Knight. He might come back and help Rey. Who knows? They may run into him, but I don't see him being like a Jedi down the line like that.
Okay, it looks like I'm the outlier. I just think, to bring to Camilla's point, who better than Luke to teach someone how to deal with their fear and attachment? I mean, that's his whole story. His whole story is that he's so attached to his dad and so afraid of what's going to happen to his friends. That's the entire original trilogy. He From the moment we meet Luke, all he wants to do is leave Tatooine because he wants to be like his dad, who he was told was a great pilot. And then he doesn't because of his obligation to the people who raised him. His uncle, who is fearful for what Luke Skywalker at large in the galaxy means for Luke's safety, is just using the excuse, we need you around here. Stay another season. And Luke's like, okay. All his friends have grown up and left. Stay another season. We need you. Okay. It's not until that he can't. It's not until he can't stay on Tatooine that Luke leaves. And he realizes his dad was a Jedi, and he says, okay, I'm going to do that then. Yeah, I'll be a Jedi. I'll train. And then he doesn't finish his training with Yoda because of his attachments to his friends. It's, oh, well, no. Yeah, okay, I could stay here, but then what does that mean for them? And then, again, you have Return of the Jedi, where it's kill your dad. I'm not killing my dad. Luke's idolized this man before he knew who he was. And he had to come to grips with how much his dad had changed, but still, the whole time, even in that fight scene at the end of Jedi, it's I'm not gonna kill you until you threaten Leia, and then all bets are off. But then he realizes at the end there, before he kills his dad, he's like, "Wait, I can't. If I do this, then I'm gonna be just like him, and I don't want that for myself." So, who better to show Grogu about fear and anger and attachment than the guy who has had that his entire life? As far as him becoming a knight, again, I don't necessarily think so. Again, we don't know much about the species, and this is where I like, as much as everyone says it should remain a mystery. Okay, we have a baby. It's time to start putting some of the mystery to bed. Because
Lucas said 2 things he would never reveal: where Yoda came from and where Anakin came from.
Right. But George Lucas isn't in charge anymore. And as much as I love George Lucas, there are certain things about that drive me insane.
Yeah, but I don't think Dave Filoni's going to step on those toes. Neither will
No.
John Favreau.
No, but I think it's time to learn about how they age. Because my theory is sort of like, if you look at human kids, they grow really rapidly until they're 13. But then if you look at other species, they don't grow at all their first year or so, and then it's sort of explosive. So I think that for that species that we don't have a name for, we once you get to like 55, maybe 60, there's sort of an explosive development until you're 3.5, 4 feet tall, and then you're done. Because how tall is Yoda? He's like 3 feet if we compare him to like Christopher Lee or Liam Neeson.
Yoda is 2 feet 2 inches.
Oh, so yeah, Grogu's half that size.
Damn, 2 feet 2 inches.
So
that's how tall the puppet was.
He doesn't have a whole lot to grow. So I think there could be sort of a very rapid growth spurt in that age, and then by the time he's 60, he could take care of himself, and then he gets the training, he gets the centering he needs from Luke, and maybe he's not a knight by the time he leaves, but I definitely think he goes back to Din at some point. Whether or not we see that in the series, I mean, it doesn't. I don't. Who knows how many seasons we're going to get Mando? But I think very much so that if they go back to Tython, if they activate this beacon, and Grogu's at large in the universe, then he's definitely not going to ignore it because he already knows what that beacon is. He already understands that if they're using it, they need help. And I don't see Grogu when he's older as someone who ignores people in need, because he understands what it's like to be in that place with his adventures with Din. So I'm going to go ahead and say maybe he's not a full knight in the order, but if they go to Tython, if they activate that beacon, which is sort of my headcanon at this point, then Grogu is indeed going to show up.
All good points. All very good points. And I mean, we shall see, because they're going to touch on it again. They're not just going to let Grogu fall off at the waist. So, no. We shall see how that plays out. So, with that said, let's see. R2 is the therapy droid that we need, but not deserve. Yeah, true. R2 is my favorite character. Grogu goes down the path of Ty York, and making.
Toss a credit to Ty York.
There you go.
Yes.
You should make a song parody of that, Chris.
Oh, it's already written.
Yes. Oh,
I just don't have a guitar to play it. I saw Element did it.
Yeah.
In the video. So
Nice. So, with that said, is there anyone else who you'd specifically like to see as a Jedi?
I want to know what's going on with Jason Syndulla. If Jason is force sensitive, because it's like we talk about Finn, we talk about Broom Boy, but yeah, what's up with Jason? Is Jason force sensitive? Is Jason training? Is Jason with his the best mom in all of the galaxy, Hera, doing stuff? Yeah, that's one. And then have any of you seen Resistance?
Yeah.
So the two kids in season 1, I'm forgetting their name, their siblings, and then the girl, I feel like, I don't know if it was implied that they were on the run because she's force sensitive or not. I could be making that up.
I haven't seen Resistance since before the end of Rebels, I think, or whenever. It was a long time ago. It was Disney Plus dropped. I watched it, and I haven't watched it again since. So that's a few years.
No,
Are you
that's
talking about like Ela and Kel.
yeah. I feel like I don't know why, but I always got the vibe that there was something going on with her, and that she might have been force sensitive because they were on the run from the Empire, and the Empire was trying to like kidnap them. And I don't know if it was trying to kidnap them to make them, or excuse me, not the Empire, the First Order. So yeah, that's thinking about like deep cut type characters. Like that's one. The little girl that Ahsoka interacted with in the Ahsoka novel. What's up with her? Is she going to become part of the Jedi in some capacity one day? I don't know. But Jason is definitely top of my. What are you up to, buddy?
Yeah. I think it would be nice poetic justice, especially since one of the driving factors for the Rey Kenobi theory was it would be nice to see Luke train Rey like Obi-Wan trained Luke. So it would be nice to see Ezra train Jason as Kanan trained Ezra. And Jason got his name from Jason Solo. So maybe it's possible. But I would have to say those same answers because I can't think of anybody else that I would want to see as a Jedi. Also, someone we didn't mention earlier. Where's Quinlan Voss? He's around.
This isn't Dyad, all right? Calm down.
Yes, that's a good
He's
point.
around. He's alive.
He's hanging out.
For some reason, I have a feeling he's hanging around on Dathomir.
Then wait, I can't wait. I don't know how much you know about Fallen Order, so I won't say anything.
I finished Fallen Order. I beat it.
Okay. Then where was he in Fallen Order?
Dathomir's a big planet.
They didn't make it look that way. No, I'm just kidding.
They really.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with one because. So let's rewind if we're talking about that for a second. Just to get it into Fallen Order because I love it. I mean, when you look at Dark Disciple, all the Night Sisters are dead. All of them. But then you go into Fallen Order and you have Mira, so obviously there's a little more going on, and it's a bigger place than the snapshots we have, is all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically about Dathomir.
That's true. What Kenny just said, they did the same with Braga.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, no, that's good stuff. I don't know who else I would want to see it as a Jedi. That's a good question. That's a hard one because you don't want to overdo it with the Jedi at the same time. But everyone has their own thing. Like I would want to see Poe as no Jedi. I mean, Poe does what he's good at doing what he does. So
Poe is the Han Solo of the trio.
You know, that's a whole nother topic. I want to go with that.
we can go over that in another episode, maybe.
Yeah. Freaking frack. I don't know. Yeah, I can't wait to see actual a Wookiee. Well, besides well, you kind of have seen it in Clone Wars, the Padawan, but a Jedi Knight Wookiee,
Yeah, we haven't seen that on screen
like on
anywhere.
screen. I mean, we saw the Padawan in Clone Wars. I forget what.
Gunji.
Thank you.
Gunji! Where
Yeah.
is Gunji? Is Gunji safe? I hope
Right?
Gunji survived. That's all that's like,
We have no canon death for him, so as
No,
far
we
as we're
don't.
concerned, he's alive.
Gunji saved Grogu.
Hey,
Someone had to.
I'm on the Jocasta New Save Grogu train, but that's just me.
That's a good one.
Quinlan
'Cause-
saved him.
I think Jocasta is. I would have liked to have seen a scene with her, even if it's deleted, because Jocasta seems like she's a Yoda type person, where like she's a lot more formidable than you would give her credit for, because she is a Jedi Knight. I mean, she didn't get that way for no reason.
Well, we do have a
And-
deleted scene with her in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I haven't. I gotta go see that. I haven't seen it.
I watched all the deleted scenes of Star Wars movies because I want all the Star Wars I can get,
bro.
except for the Rise of Skywalker, because I'm gonna have to go break into the Disney vault for that one.
Bro, they be stingy.
Let's just rush it. You know that Area 51 thing? Let's do that with Skywalker Ranch. They can't stop all of us. For legal
true.
reasons, that is a joke.
Yeah, they got more stories than Air 51.
Oh man.
The only person, there's a few actually. I really want to see Finn and Janna. I really want to see Broom Boy come back. I don't know why. I just like ever since that scene at the end of The Last Jedi where he grabs the broom, I'm just like, yes. I like your Jason Sindula. I always forget that he exists because he was on screen for like 0.2 seconds. But yeah, I would really like to see just a few of those characters where it's like, let's start expanding this. Let's tell these stories, because I was expecting so much more, and then the fans happened, and I'm just like, no, you're robbing the rest of us. I want these stories.
Yeah.
Well, it's yeah, I can't come up with anybody who I would want to. Off the top of my head, I mean, it's besides the Wookiee, but I mean, I don't want Chewbacca to become no Jedi. Chewie
Chewie needs a nap, a nice long nap.
Man.
He needs a break.
I was gonna hug Chewie. I
Chewie
hugged him when I was a kid, but I was the one hugging me. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. Just take a sleep.
He's been through a lot.
Chewie's the old dog you let up on the furniture and you pet him behind his ears and feed him treats that you shouldn't. Like, that's how I feel about Chewie right now. Just let him play in the yard and eat table scraps, because he's had a hard life.
Give him a lemonade, shit.
Yeah.
Something. All right, cool. So here's a question for you guys and everyone in the chat. What does the order look like in 20 years, 100 years, and beyond? Because we know they're going to rebuild it. It's already stated. It's being rebuilt.
I think it's gonna look similar to what the High Republic is, except instead of just different temples, it's going to be different orders. As the Force leads them, and they'll come together for a conference every year, every couple of years, to sort of pal around, talk, stay in communication. But I think it's gonna go where, like, say, like there's an order in the Mandalorian system, and so they're tending to the needs of the people in the Mandalorian system, so they're being and then you have them spread out like that, so that the Jedi can stay in touch with real people, and thus when they are in touch with real people, they'll be able to meet those people's needs as the Force wills it. But also, I think the Sith need to come back. I want the Sith to come back, because we don't really have anywhere it's like the Sith are just scheming in the background. Like, let the Sith be an active player in the, in the galactic scheme of things. Darkness rises and the light to meet it.
Yeah. It's such a tough question. Thinking back to what we were talking about earlier about the government is gone. And this isn't, I don't think, necessarily what should happen for the Jedi Order in terms of in Star Wars, not necessarily like what the folks at Lucasfilm is planning, but there is a world where the Jedi Order, think that they need to step into that governmental role to bring peace back to the galaxy and bring order back to the galaxy. And I'm not saying that's what they should do by any means. I think that could be interesting to explore. I think it would just be interesting to watch from an audience perspective. Not because it's the right thing, just because I think there's a lot of like really great narrative things that you can explore there. But yeah, like, because that's a Jedi Order that the Jedi Order I don't think exists in the way that we've seen it in the past. And so that's something that I just thought of, is that do they think that they need to get involved in a more governmental way, in a more in that sense of bringing order to the galaxy rather than being of service to the people. I'm sure there could be some people who would join the Jedi Order who would think that that's their purpose and that's their path. It reminds me of in Revenge of the Sith, when they're talking about getting Palpatine out, then the Jedi would have to take a step into to make sure it's a peaceful transition, that they would have to step in and it's like, this is a dangerous place this will take us, which is, he's not wrong at all. And I think that that's a dangerous thing, but again, there's no formal order. So would the Jedi think maybe we should step in and be that order, and then what would happen? I don't know.
So
realized I was muted. Oops. You got Rey and Finn around for the next 50, 60 years, because Rey is only 20 at the end of Rise of Skywalker and Finn is 24. So you got them for a while. So as long as they're around, I don't think you get that, because I know Finn definitely would probably want to stay out of politics, and Rey probably doesn't want to get involved either. Also, I can see them trying that, and Yoda coming back as a Force Ghost, hitting them with game like, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say the next 20 to 50 years is just it's a rebuilding, and the thing about them becoming government is Rey knows all that. She knows that history. She knows that's why that was bad. So I don't see them. It was just an interesting question I had, and that could be an episode, honestly, of how the Republic comes back, or does it. It's just an interesting structure because we haven't seen it. As far as 20 to 50 years, I think it's really just a few disparate things, if they even can get that many people to train, because we don't really have a canon answer as to how many students Luke had at the academy at the time, do we?
Kinda, sorta. Through the Rise of Kylo Ren graphic novel, it shows some. Now, is that all of them? No,
right.
It showed like I want to ballpark it around 12.
Right,
a good handful, maybe.
So if you've only got a couple dozen Jedi over the course of 20 years. But I think after 100 or after 100 years, I really think it's more like they've got a few different places where they are, and their role is really to serve the needs of the people like they did. I mean, that's what you love about the High Republic, right? I mean, they're not serving the Republic. They work with them, but they're not servants of them, and that is what I really love about the High Republic. They're able to tell so many different and better stories, because it's not, well, the Chancellor said we're doing this. It's like, what the Chancellor's not Force sensitive. How does he know what the Force wants?
Mm-hmm.
And even with Lena So, who's an amazing person, amazing character, one of my favorite new characters. Even she respects that the Jedi do not serve the Republic; that they serve the Force. So it'll be interesting to see after they wrap the High Republic what happens to change that. And then I think I'm going to go with my show pitch that I say whenever Chaco asks the question. So I think in a couple hundred years, after the Battle of Exegol, that the Jedi are almost there's a section of them that are sort of like the FBI. Think I'd like to see a procedural crime show where the Jedi show up, and you've got whatever the problem is in the system. You've got a crime syndicate, you've got pirates, you've got whatever it is, and the Jedi are the ones that show up when the local authorities have no idea. They don't have a lead. The Jedi show up, and maybe one's got psychometry, one's really good with computer systems, and they're the ones that handle these things that nobody else can figure out what to do.
It's not bad.
CSI, Law and the Force,
right?
Yeah, it's a little bit like NCIS, CSI, Law and Order. That like not so much Law and Order, because that's more of the like the courtroom type stuff. They're not involved with that aspect of it. They're just involved with
no Jedi in the courtroom. Come on.
Well, they can be witnesses, but they can't. They don't hold the trials because that's not their job. Their job is simply to find out what's wrong and put things right and find the problem, which is kind of what they do in the High Republic. But I'd like to see a show of Jedi crime solvers, because I think it would be freaking awesome.
Nice. Jedi can't be excluded from the public anymore. Work actively with the police, maybe some reps in the Senate. Not the Senate. The Senate, they slimy. Politicians are just so damn. I mean, Padme and them is cool, but most of them are just slimy. Like seriously, 80% of freaking politicians are slimy.
I am the Senate.
Like the concept of Jedi Sentinel, they can integrate it into society as normal people. Can we call? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Star Wars crime show. The victim Mandalorians all over. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Not a bad pitch for a pretty fun and exciting, action-packed Star Wars show. But where is the Jedi that far down? The order that far down? I think. That one is hard because there's so many ways they can go with that. So many things can happen. Like, I think people think with Star Wars it's going to be a happily ever after. It's not going to be a happily ever after. It's like darkness is going to rise. Something. It's kind of like the MCU with Iron Man. Everything happened like his enemy. He created his own damn enemies every time.
He created everyone's enemies.
But pretty much, yeah. And
well, he didn't create Thanos. That wasn't his fault. I'll give a pass on Thanos.
Okay, yeah. Ultron was his fault.
Ultron was his fault.
All of Spider-Man's villains are his fault.
Exactly. So, like, all these villains now that they're being developed, it's like the same thing's going to be happening with. I think that can happen with the Star Wars universe. Like, their reactions. The sisters. What's their names? That was in the last season of the Clone Wars. And
Trace and Rafa.
Trace and Rafa. We didn't know nothing about them. Filoni said, "I'm going to create these people because they were a casualty of the Jedi." And I think that's those are ways that they can continue to the stories and create more villains. Because hey, Jedi was saving something, didn't know that they end up killing somebody's family or whatever, and that person's like, "F y'all didn't care. I'm coming for you. I'm going to loathe and this," not knowing that they're force sensitive, and then it just triggered and like, "Nah, I'm coming for you now. I'm the big
The
bad."
worst thing about the Martez sisters is like the Jedi responsible for the thing that happened with their parents' death was like, oh, the Force will provide.
Exactly.
Like you can't throw them a few credits.
That's messed up. They need some kind of rations or something. Like, hey, we got to take care of these people. Give them a house. we killed your family. We didn't mean that. We was just trying to save everything else. I know you can't take it back. Yeah, you don't just force provide. Nah, provide a bullet in your back. That's what happened with
why
you.
Luminara is trash.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but so it's just it's hard to say, but the High Republic actually has given me hope that it doesn't always have to be a Sith or a Force sensitive person. It can be someone who's just Ron. Like, not saying he should be the next big bad again, but he just a strategist, somebody who's very brilliant and strategic, can literally cripple people and cause this turmoil like no other. So yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm super excited. Well, I won't say super excited. I am excited to hear what Ryan's trilogy is going to be.
Yeah, we'll see a decade from now when that comes out.
I'm gonna say they're giving him something High Republic or Old Republic. That's just my gut feeling.
I don't even know High Republic at this point, unless they're just straight up adapting the novels to live action. Because I feel like a decade from now, they'll be able to tell the storyline that they want to tell, and then you can flesh things out. But I say give some Ryan completely untouched, and just let him run with it.
Because
I don't see them giving him the future of Star Wars simply because of what already happened. Like Disney's in this to make money, and they understand that there are a decent number of fans that literally won't go see that because they don't know any better, because it's already in their mind that Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna disagree on that one just for this fact. The ones that didn't like the sequels are usually the older generation or someone who was in like the early prequels fans. They will be dead or going to be dying pretty soon, whatever it may be. Me included, unfortunately. I mean, so it's like I like the sequels, but at the same time, that would be the exact reason why Disney's like, yeah, Ryan, go ahead and create this, because the new fans that we're trying that you did you bring on, this will feed to them, and you don't have to go off of past events. Create some new shit, and the Last Jedi was good.
Yeah, that's why I think they're going to give him something just outside the Skywalker saga in general, so that he doesn't have to tie it anywhere.
Yeah,
that's why I'm really thinking Old Republic, because even if like the Old Republic is so vast, like he doesn't have to even touch the Revan story at all, and he can tell a story out there just doing that, and then they can go with what he did and write around that. And I think that's I have a gut feeling that he's going to do something in the Old Republic. That's just I don't know why, but I really do.
Give him the Eternal Empire.
Yeah, so something like that, like where he can just like a show or a trilogy of movies where like he doesn't have to touch Revan. He doesn't have to touch any of the fan favorites that like people are gonna get up in arms about if you get like the tiniest detail wrong or do something that they didn't expect, and he can just have his own set of movies. I really think that's. I just have this feeling that that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I can't put my finger on it, but
I think you might be onto something just for a fact that look like with the New Hope, that one line from Obi-Wan saying, he was in Clone Wars, get a whole damn series and movies of the Clone Wars, a whole nother trilogy and all that stuff that happened in that era, and the Rise of Skywalker, was it Revan? The name Revan was mentioned as one of the stormtrooper patrols, whatever it's called, and they can take that and run with it, go for it.
I saw a meme earlier this week that was put the Back to the Future line, like, you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it, for George Lucas, and that line in A New Hope talking about Clone Wars, like, you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it.
Nice. That's a good meme.
The other thing that got me thinking, a great story for Ryan to tell is the story of the Prime Jedi. Because this is mentioned and it's completely new. I mean, I haven't heard or seen of it before. So
it says Mesa Windu. Who's that? Mesa who?
Mesa Windu. He was Mace R. Windu for a little while. So.
When he did the pirate thing and gained like 450,000 followers.
Who was this person we talking about?
Shut up.
I was messing with them. I give him shit every time I talk to him. I see. TikTok, Star Wars has logic. It does. No, yeah, absolutely. Book of Boba will be most likely The Sopranos of Star Wars. That'd be interesting. Yeah. The details. I like the details. I'm all about the details. Just don't stress over the details too much, though. Enjoy it. Just let it go. So with that said as well, closing thoughts.
Rise of Skywalker, and she's rebuilding the Jedi Order, and that's fanboys. Go enjoy another medium because that's what's happening here. So
I love it. Like, get up.
She's like, yeah. There's so much. I'm just at the point where there are the people. We are however many years out of Rise of Skywalker, where if you don't believe it, like, your mind will never be changed, and there are other things we need to be worried about in our fandom than spewing the canon facts that are just being pounded over and over again. And some people are trolls and some people are never going to believe it. And that's at the end of the day, it's your loss that you're going to lose out on some fantastic storytelling because of your own prejudice.
Like all the fans who aren't reading High Republic. The fans that aren't reading High Republic, which is
do you know how many people be reading in the first place?
Oh my God. I've seen so many people on TikTok when somebody brings up the High Republic that bash the sequels, like, oh, I haven't read those. I'm like,
go read
why?
it.
Like, well, I don't like reading. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't like reading either, but audiobooks, so that tells me. Well, I won't say what I want to say. I'll leave it at that.
The people who don't like Geode and haven't read the book.
Who the hell doesn't like Geode?
The people who haven't read the book. That's the thing. There's this whole thing. It's a rock. Have you read the book? Well, no. Go read the book. Then have the conversation. If you don't like Geode after reading the book, that is completely fine. But for you to not like Geode before you've even read the book,
yeah, I'm just amazed how they gave Rock a personality. I'm like, how?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Good writer.
Also let's talk about the people that are already bad mouthing Visions, even though it has not come out yet, and they're saying it's not Star Wars. Star Wars and anime don't mix. Someone was saying on one of my friends' videos that Star Wars and anime mix as well as chocolate and peanut butter, and I was like, wait a minute, wait,
That's delicious.
Wait,
first
That was
off,
good.
wait.
Good.
Wait a minute. I don't think you said what you thought you were going to say.
It's like, you don't like chocolate and peanut butter. That's a red flag. There we go.
Yeah.
So
Like,
I don't.
unless you're allergic to peanut butter, but I don't think that's what they were going for. So it just makes me think, is like, especially if you say Star Wars and anime don't mix, and you're thinking, someone was saying like, okay, is there going to be like a Japanese planet far, far away? And it's like, do you not understand the origins of Star Wars?
They've never heard of Kurosawa. That's just the only explanation.
You've never who Kurosawa is.
You've never heard of it. If that is, it's one of these things. Is like, people are like, oh, Star Wars is so original. I'm like, no, it's incredibly unoriginal. That's why everybody loves it. That's why it speaks to so many different people. It's incredibly unoriginal. George took about 10 stories and went like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it speaks to so many people.
Absolutely. I mean, chocolate and peanut butter don't mix. What the? I was being reached to the phone like, no, go sit down and think about that.
I really cannot. And then the trailer dropped today, and I was like,
it was beautiful.
Dude,
My God, it's so beautiful. I was
the
like,
Ronin,
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
Okay, but the
amazing.
reason why is I want to do a reaction video to it,
okay.
and I haven't had the time to record it yet.
oh my God, the Ronin has a sheath for his lightsaber. He doesn't turn it off. Like, you see him draw it in the trailer, and it's like, okay. But then I went and actually got a picture of it, and there's another one where it's a side view, and he's drawing it, and you can see there's an entire sheath, and the blade's coming out. Oh my God, I need it in my life right now. I have not. I was excited for it because I liked anime, and then I saw I need this in my life. I haven't been this excited for Star Wars since Force Awakens. Like I have not been like, give this to me now.
That trailer is fire. So
Oh
man, it got my hypeness up for it. I was like, okay,
I got to buy that book. I need that character in my life.
So yes, Chris, did you give your closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Yeah. So I think we need a Jedi story about like a Jedi freedom fighter, someone that's trying to take down like the Zygerian slave empire or something to that effect. I have an OC about that in my head, but that right now it's kind of staying in my head because I don't have the time to write these things down. But yeah, no, I think that's something that needs to be explored because I don't understand how you can say the Jedi are for peace and freedom, but you allow slavery to continue unabated in the galaxy, regardless of the Republic's anti-slavery laws, which, as we've seen, if you have enough money, even in the High Republic, the laws don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
As real life will also attest to.
True that. Xcore?
Final thoughts on the rebuilding of the Jedi Order is, I really hope that they can get Daisy and John to come back. I would like Oscar to come back, but he's been the most resistant, and really flesh out and tell these stories. But I think those two are the most important to tell this particular story, and I would like to see it. I would like to see it as a show. Really, I think there's too much there to do justice in a feature-length film. But I'd really like to see them taking those first steps, figuring out their new place in the galaxy, their new place in the Force, and really see some of this stuff. And it doesn't have to follow a strict year by year timeline either, because there's so much that they need to show us that They're not going to be able to do it by going, okay, this is. But I think that's the next thing that I need to see.
All right, all right. As for me, closing thoughts. No major closing thoughts. I mean, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is amazing. Can't wait for the Acolytes to hear more about that because we haven't really heard anything about it. We're assuming that's going to be more of a dark side type series. Visions looks great, and Ahsoka show is going to be. I love how we call it the Ahsoka show, like it's a talk show. Everyone calls it the Ahsoka show.
The Ashoka, I like that one. I don't know who came up with that, but I like it.
So, but yeah, excited for that one. That I'm actually more excited for that one than anything Ahsoka, and then Acolytes, and then Visions.
Yeah,
But,
I think Acolyte is the thing we need most. Like as a
yeah.
as from a lore perspective, I think it's the thing that we need most because we don't have any real canon Sith lore. Like it's all legends.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the thing. Like it's the thing I'm most excited for in the future. The thing I'm most excited for right now is obviously Visions because I saw the trailer and it blew my mind. But like that's the next. Like that's the thing I think we need the most right now.
The Lando show is what I need the most.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Lando
And
show.
it is also the show I am most worried about. Because we've heard nothing about it, which makes me think it's like the show that's the furthest out. And Billy D. Williams is 84 years old, and Donald Glover is a busy man, and lightning is not gonna strike a third time. And I think it would be extremely disrespectful to the legacy of the character of Lando and also to Billy D. Williams if he dies before he's able to do more. Because even if he is, alive a few years from now, that doesn't mean he will be able to do a lot acting wise.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't have anything on it either.
It's an event series, and it's being written by the guy who did Dear White People. That's all we know.
Yeah, we need. Yeah, that I without Billy, I don't see how that series works. Even if they do it, see, this is something I wanted for the Solo movie. That it would have made it 1,000 times better, even if he's narrating it with Donald Glover doing the acting, and he and it's like a retelling of his adventures, like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles was.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the Solo movie to be narrated by Han on the flight from that cargo ship to Maz Kanata's Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted there to be little pieces where Han, like there's stuff going on, and then all you hear is the Wookiee roar, and Han's like, "No, I'm telling you, that is how it happens. No, there were 4 of them." And then you see it go, and then he rises again. It's like, "All right, fine, it was 3," and you know what I mean. And then the actual scene you're watching changes, and there's 2 adversaries that are now missing. They should have done that. They should have called me before they made the movie. But hey.
That would have been funny.
Because that's so Han. It's so Han to just make it to stretch the truth just a little so it's still believable, but it's not exactly what happened. And it's totally Chewie to be like, dude, what are you talking? Come on, I was there too.
No, I agree. Okay, well, with that, the time has come to say goodbye. No, so amazing show. Thank you guys for coming on and actually being some amazing guests, and talking about this topic right here with the Jedi. I mean, we all either love or hate the Jedi, whether it's the whole religion part, whether it's the Force part, whether it's like Sith. I mean, Sith is just evil Jedi, aren't they? So But yeah, it was amazing panel we had and an amazing discussion we had tonight on the Cantina. And with that, let's go around the horn and just let the people know where they can find you at once more before we end this. And we'll start with Camilla.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. Super fun chat. Super interesting discussion. Always love talking about Star Wars. Again, you can find me on TikTok at Boriquawookie. And then also my Star Wars audio drama podcast, Beings of the Galaxy Pod on Instagram. And also you can listen wherever podcasts are streaming. Check it out. Chris was actually on episode 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So go check out episode 2 so you can listen to Chris play the father of a birthday girl and hear his wonderful speech. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
Yes, my name is Chris. Thank you again, Core Depaul, for inviting me on. This was a great time. It's always cool kicking it around the Cantina. And you can find me at Star Wars Lawyer on TikTok and Instagram, and on the Too Black Too Nerdy podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Awesome. xcoregamerskillz.
I am xcoregamerskillz everywhere, and I will be bringing more content to more platforms. So stay tuned. But mostly, yeah, I'm on TikTok, and I'm always here every other week on the Cantina because, well, I had to make this thing a thing, and I cannot thank again all the lovely guests we've had. You guys tonight have been amazing. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you, Ryan, again every week, each and every week, for everything you do to make this a reality. I appreciate it.
No worries, my pleasure. And I am Jedi Master Depaul. You can find me on TikTok. Also here on the Cantina every bi-weekly. So not this week, this week, but not next week, but the following week. But yeah, so that's where I do my TikTok. My Star Wars content is TikTok under Jedi Master Depaul and here. And yes, this has been a great podcast, and I love the guests. No, I love you. You're awesome. Love. I mean, seriously, you and Beth with the whole Bad Batch. I'm gonna miss the Thursdays. I'm like, I don't know to do that late night no more. I'm like, I'm gonna be lonely.
Oh, don't worry. We're yeah. That's another thing. The Bad Batch support group. I was the co-host of, but there's a lot of Star Wars, and there's a lot of Star Wars that requires support. So we're not going away quite
All
yet.
right, cool. That's what's up. I was like, man, I need my girls. I'm all let's do this. Chris, and always appreciate all your content. And your I made sure. Where the hell Lando? You just say hung up right now or something? I haven't seen him in a minute.
You gonna see him soon. I've done a couple more like Stitches versus Sad Lando content, but I can always make more Sad Lando videos, I got it.
Yes, but no.
I mean, I did last night on live make 2 edits, one dedicated to Star Wars mothers and another dedicated to Star Wars fathers.
There you go.
Don't like that.
I mean,
at all.
Have your tissues ready.
Oh, here we go. So yeah, can't wait to see that and continue to do what you guys do. Fight the good fight. Keep the community positive, and just keep on talking Star Wars and about what we love and share the love out there. So until then, guys, to the next one. Take care. May the force be with you, and
Yub nub
for life.
Yub nub.
All right, guys. Thank you to the chat also for
Yub nub.
Amazing and interacting. Oh my God, we about to get sad now.
Take it off. Take the hat off. No.
We about to cry. But chat, thank you for interacting and supporting us and staying on with us and just being awesome. And yeah, we really do appreciate you. Until the next one, guys, take care, and we're out.